What if I told you that a Super Bowl winning defensive powerhouse is literally begging for a phone call to join the Rams right now? This isn't just a rumor. We have players publicly recruiting on social media, cryptic emojis flying back and forth, and a potential reunion that could either save the secondary or become the biggest disaster of the season. The smoke is turning into a wildfire, and the person at the center of it is one of the most polarizing names in football today. Is Los Angeles about to pull the trigger on a move that changes everything? Before we dive into the madness, smash that subscribe button if you want the fastest NFL updates on the planet. The Rams are officially back in the rumor mill, and this time, the noise is coming from inside the locker room. We've seen some wild off-seasons in Los Angeles, but the latest developments surrounding a major free agent still sitting on the market have the entire fan base on edge. It's not just the media talking anymore. It's the players themselves stoking the flames. When the guys on the field start calling for reinforcements, you know something is brewing behind the scenes. We are talking about a massive name, a guy with championship rings, who is currently looking for a home. But is he the missing piece to a championship puzzle, or is he a liability that could sink the ship? Let's look at how this all started, because the trail of breadcrumbs is impossible to ignore. Jaylen Watson, our big-time addition from the Kansas City Chiefs, is the one leading the charge. He hasn't been shy about who he wants lining up next to him in the Rams secondary. Watson recently took to social media and sent a very direct message to Sneed. It was short, sweet, and explosive. "What's up, brother?" followed by those haunting eye emojis. If you follow NFL social media, you know that the eye emoji is the universal signal for something is happening. This wasn't just a friendly check-in. This was a public recruitment effort. But Watson didn't stop there. He went even further on his Instagram story, posting a throwback photo that sent shockwaves through the Romilly. It was a picture of himself, Trent McDuffie, Sneed, and Josh Williams all celebrating their Super Bowl victory together back in Kansas City. Above the photo, a smug-faced emoji. You don't need to be a body language expert or a psychologist to decode that one. Watson is clearly reminiscing about the glory days and signaling that he wants to get the band back together right here in Los Angeles. He wants to recreate that elite trio that terrorized quarterbacks on the way to a ring. He's basically telling the front office, the blueprint for a lockdown secondary is right here. You just have to go get him. Now, usually, these things are one-sided. Players tweet at each other all the time and nothing comes of it. But this time, Sneed actually replied. And his response was loud and clear. Sneed posted a photo of a law office advertisement with the famous slogan, "One call, that's all." If that isn't a come-and-get-me plea, I don't know what is. Sneed is effectively telling the Rams front office that he is sitting by the phone, waiting for Los Angeles to make the move. He's ready to jump on a plane and reunite with his brothers in arms. The message is undeniable. Sneed wants in, and Watson wants him here. But hold on, because as exciting as a reunion sounds, there is a massive but coming your way. We have to talk about why a talent like Sneed is even still available at this point in the year. Why hasn't a team snapped him up? There are two sides to this coin, the off-field drama and the on-field decline. For a long time, the conversation around Sneed was stalled because of some very serious legal issues. He was dealing with a pending case involving assault and battery charges, and even more shockingly, an alleged connection to a drive-by shooting in Texas where he was accused of being the driver. For many fans and analysts, that was an immediate deal-breaker. You don't bring that kind of baggage into a locker room, especially one trying to build a winning culture. It was a non-starter. However, the landscape has just shifted. All charges against Sneed have officially been dropped. He has been cleared. From a legal standpoint, the slate is clean. This means we can finally stop talking about courtrooms and start talking about football. But wait until you hear how his last season actually went on the field, because the numbers are absolutely terrifying. Who do you think is responsible for the Rams' lack of depth right now? Is it the front office's fault for letting veterans walk, or is it just the nature of the salary cap? Drop a name in the comments and let me know who you blame. Now that the legal clouds have parted, we have to look at Sneed strictly as a football player. And if I'm being 100% honest with you, the tape from last year is a total disaster. When Sneed was with the Tennessee Titans in 2025, things didn't just go bad, they went off a cliff. We're talking about an unmitigated catastrophe in coverage. He allowed 13 completions on 21 targets, giving up 224 yards and 3 touchdowns. But the stat that should make every Rams fan sweat is the passer rating allowed. Quarterbacks throwing at Sneed had a rating of 137.7. To put that in perspective, a perfect passer rating is 158.3. That's like giving an opponent a 90% on a test every single time they challenge you. If the test was named L'Jarius Sneed, everyone was acing it. It's a heartbreaking fall from grace. We remember the guy who was a pillar in Steve Spagnuolo's defense in Kansas City. He was physical, he was fast, and he was a playmaker. But in Tennessee, he looked like a completely different person. Part of that is the scheme, sure, but a huge part of it is the red flags regarding his health. Sneed has been a walking injury report. During his time with the Titans, he missed all but 12 games. His body seems to be breaking down, and that reflected in his PFF grades, which tanked into the 30s and 50s over the last 2 seasons. So, why on earth am I even suggesting the Rams should consider this? Why would we want a guy who is struggling to stay healthy and getting torched on the field? The answer is simple and painful. Our depth is non-existent. Look at our roster right now. Do I want Sneed starting every game and guarding the opponent's WR1? Absolutely not. That would be a recipe for a heart attack. But do I trust him more than someone like Cam Lynn in a pinch? Yes, I do. The reality of the NFL market right now is that the cupboard is bare. There aren't many elite corners just hanging out waiting for a job. We saw what happened to this defense last year when injuries hit. Remember when Quentin Lake went down? The defense fell off a cliff. It was like night and day. We struggled to stop anyone because we didn't have the bodies to fill the gaps. This offseason, we lost Kobe Durant and Ahkello Witherspoon. While we made some great moves at the top of the depth chart, the bottom of the chart is looking very thin. If one of our starters goes down, we are in serious trouble. That is where the Sneed experiment comes in. If, and this is a massive if, he is willing to sign a veteran minimum deal, it's a low-risk, high-reward move. We just need more healthy bodies in the building. We need guys who have been in the fire, who know what a playoff atmosphere feels like, and who can provide a veteran presence. If Sneed is truly motivated to jumpstart his career and wants to win another ring with his buddies Watson and McDuffie, maybe he finds that old spark. Imagine a scenario where Sneed is fully healthy for the first time in 2 years. Imagine he gets back even 70% of the form he had in Kansas City. That would be the absolute steal of the offseason. You'd be getting a championship-caliber corner for pennies on the dollar. The odds of that happening are low. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's going to be an all-pro again. But is he better than the current alternatives? In a league where you can never have enough secondary depth, it's a gamble worth taking. Think about the locker room chemistry. Having a trio of guys who have already won the ultimate prize together can be infectious. It builds confidence. It creates a shorthand on the field that takes months for other players to develop. If the Rams can get Sneed on a cheap, prove-it contract, it protects the team. If he shows up to camp and he's still a disaster, you cut him and move on. No harm, no foul. But if he shows up and looks like his old self, you've just turned a weakness into a major strength. So, Romilly, I'm putting it to you. You've seen the stats, you've seen the tweets, and you know the risks. Are you team sign or team pass? If we can get him on a veteran minimum deal, are you in? Or do you think his best days are so far behind him that he's not even worth a roster spot? The front office has a massive decision to make, and the players are clearly making their voices heard. One call, that's all. Sneed is waiting. Watson is waiting. The clock is ticking on the offseason, and the secondary still needs help. Is Los Angeles bold enough to make the move, or will they play it safe and hope the current depth holds up? Stay tuned, because this story is moving fast, and one phone call could change the entire trajectory of the Rams' defense. But you won't believe what the analysts are saying about the Rams' next potential trade target.